Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, June the 14th. And so that is happy hump day, of course. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week's going great. Happy PPI day that was reported this morning before the open. Happy Fed day is probably the biggest thing that we had today. Fed meeting, you can see right there. And if you were watching, of course, the Fed decided to not do anything, not hike rates anymore. You know, we've already gone up 500 basis points, I think, in the last 14, 15 months. They decided to take a pause right now at this meeting. That was to be expected. I think there was I didn't check today, but I think it was a 75+% chance that they were not going to do anything. So that it was kind of no surprise. But the wording said that there's a possibility of 2 more rate hikes this year, 25 plus 25 or 50 basis points by the end of the year, and that sent the market straight down and then right back up. Powell did the press conference, and I didn't listen to it. I was, trading and doing other things, but, Powell said that they're going to keep, they're not going to back off of raising rates if, they're going to wait to see the data points as they come in and evaluate as they go. Same thing they've been saying, and that's really the only thing they can say. Because we have to wait and see what the next CPI is going to do and what payrolls look like, and all of the things that they monitor to decide what they're going to do. Now, it is widely expected or starting to be factored in that in the July Fed meeting that we'll see a 25 basis point hike there. We'll see. So, straight up, straight down. The interesting thing, check this out. This is kind of crazy. So the light gray is the overnight session. The black is the cash session. Let me move this over just a little bit. And after all the dust settled, we ended about where we started. The S&P was up 3 points, from where we started this morning. Kind of crazy. A lot of movement up, a lot of movement down. Just a lot of anticipation of what this meeting was going to say and what Powell was going to say. Powell, as we like to call him here. And, and again, when the dust settled, we still don't have the clarity that I was hoping that we would have. So if we look at this, now this is the NASDAQ, same thing, flush down, up, down, and we did kind of go out on the high today on the NASDAQ. This is the Russell 2000, big flush down here. Ho-hum kind of day, and of course I got the ticks here. But let's take a look at this and kind of put it in perspective. Again, I'm on the futures here. This is ES, the futures. The black is the day session, the cash session. The gray is the overnight session. Not much going on into a Fed meeting. That's very typical. But let's go back and take this thing. We start on 1 day. Let's go back and look at 10 days. And as you can see, we've just been going up, 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 up. I mean, like crazy. If you've traded for a pretty good period of time, you look at this and you go, okay, this is a 20-day chart. We've gone from 4,100 to 4,400 in, let's see, there's Wednesday, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's a monster size move in 3 weeks, basically straight up. A little bit of pullback there and a little bit of chop and consolidation here. If you watched the video I did last week, we were looking at this level, and I thought that's kind of where we were going to remain until the Fed meeting. I said, we might get a move up here to this tree line, but I don't think so. We could go down here to this tree line, but I thought we'd kind of be range bound here because of the anticipation of what the Fed may or may not do. And obviously we got a big gap up here. But let's take this and go. Actually, let me switch this over to my voodoo lines here. If you don't know voodoo lines, they're based on Elliott wave. And that's what we're looking at. I mean, so if we look at this, I mean, this is off of this. The red line is a fire line, so we're chopping back and forth, and these within themselves are pretty good moves. You see this level there? That's that 4100 level, or excuse me, 4200 level, sorry, that we have been, we've been all over many times, and I thought this would be a ceiling and we would come back down here and again kind of maybe chop in this area. Instead we rocket ship to the moon, buy everything you can buy kind of thing, which is very it's good. It appears that we have broken out into a new trend and all that kind of stuff, but it's also a little bit concerning if you traded for a while, because that it starts to look like a blow off top at some point. Maybe not gone that far yet, but I'm comparing that to this from this move, monster move, and it looks so bullish and it looks so great. This is going to go and it's going to be great, and then you get all the way back down, you retrace all the way back down to where you started, which if that happens, then we're kind of back down here. And I'm just simply, spitballing ideas right here, just kind of off the top of my head. Nothing technical about that, just observation more than anything else. But we are very extended here. Everybody knows it. Everything I look at, if we look at Apple, great looking chart, love it, but very extended. I don't want to buy it here. Amazon, again, very nice, long, big move, right? Broadcom, this of course mainly, I've actually run out of voodoo lines here. We're above the voodoo lines here. Let's see, NDX, kind of same thing. Look at that, boom, 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 boom. And lastly, NVIDIA, that kind of stuff. So again, everybody knows we're very extended here, so we got to be very careful. I did put on a hedge out to October today ahead of the Fed meeting. Down at 4100, I think that was it, out to October, just in case. Doesn't I'm actually selling premium around that. There's ways to do it, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't cost me anything to do that, and I can have a nice big payday if it works. If it doesn't, it won't really cost me anything. Pretty cool technique to do that. If you want to learn how to do that, come to Simpler Trading, and I can show you. Some of the other guys can show you, and gals can show you how to do that as well in some of our trading rooms. But again, be careful here. I would be very careful buying at these levels. Now let me show you this. Let me switch one last point here. If we're looking at, say, any of this stuff, let's look at Apple. Look at that. It's a beautiful chart. It's a great looking chart, right? And you buy the dip. That's a 34 EMA. That green line's a 34 EMA. Rally, come pull back. 34 EMA, bounce. 34 EMA, bounce. 34 EMA, bounce. 34 bounce. 34 bounce. Well, guess what? It needs to come back down here before I'm going to get real interested in putting any kind of real money in it, which would be about 178-ish. I can tell you exactly. 177.33. That little yellow line right there is a Darvis box. So, and we could do this on any of this stuff. Let's look at, I don't know, NVIDIA. I mean, it's got to come way back for 353. Now, that's not a hard rule. That's just kind of a general. I'd get a lot more interested in buying, even Amazon if it pulled back here to 34, 118, that kind of thing. So I think the higher we go, of course there's going to be there might be more short covering. This might keep going. I really don't know at this point. But if it's going to keep going, it's going to keep going without me. I might nibble on some things selectively. I do like Google. It looks a little bit more interesting than some of these other big tech names. And then, of course, we find the honey badgers out there every now and then. Kind of off the radar stuff, but the bottom line is we need to be careful here. I am expecting a pullback. I would expect that maybe as soon as tomorrow, maybe in the next couple of weeks, but I don't know how much higher we're going to go at this, at this velocity. And again, on pullbacks, be careful, because we could get, let me zoom in here. We could get a pullback. I'm trying to find one. We could get a pullback. I'm trying to find a good example. Like here, we look pretty extended there. Minor pullback, kind of chop, which way we're going to go, and then we just go higher. So we could pull back here, and everybody thinks the bottom's going to fall out, and then we just keep going. We could. Chances are, this will keep coming up, but chances are we meet here somewhere at some price, right? And you could do this. This is a 34 EMA. You could do that with the 8, the 21. I use the 34. You could use a 50. That kind of thing. So anyway, again, bottom line, be careful with new trades here. Be very selective. Start adding a little hedging on the downside. You can use SPY for the S&P 500. You could use QQQ for the NASDAQ. That's kind of good ideas that we're using for small cost hedging. And again, if you need help with this, let me know. I'm Bruce at simplertrading.com, and join me in. I have a trading room called Bias, or any of us in the main trading room can help. So come check us out. And with that, let me wind it up, and have a great rest of the day. Great trading, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me